Hey everyone, some guy rank stuff here, and the Premier League is finally back. Yesterday, Burnley was playing Manchester City, and I'm actually doing this in the halftime break between Arsenal and Nottingham Forest. So, I wanted to do a ranking of the home kits from the 2020s, but of course, we're only, well, not too far into the 2020s yet. And well, all these images have been picked or gotten from the Premier League home site, PremierLeague.com, in the history and kits section. And I would have, of course, included this season's kits, but for some reason, Premier League haven't done, or at least put out the pictures of all the kits, even though they put out some that have been revealed after others they haven't put out there yet, which makes a little sense to me. But well, it's how it is. So maybe I'll later do another ranking of all of these this season's home, away, and third kits in one video. But of course, I've done this. I'll say first that I want to do this by a decade. So next, maybe not next time, but in some video later, I will make a tier list of all the home kits in the Premier League from the 10-11 season up until the 1920 season to do like this by a decade. That's going to be a whole lot of different kits though, and I will do the same for the previous decade as well, maybe in the 90s. But of course, in those days, they used to have, at least often, would have the same kit 2 years in a row, so there would be fewer kits, of course. So the 10 to 20 will be a huge video for sure. But of course, before I do this, I'll just say that I'm a Manchester United fan. I've already made two tier lists about their home kits and one with the away and third kits in the Premier League era. And I'll try to look at these kits without any, bias or what do you call it. I will maybe count some factor into some of these decisions based on like the history of the club. I'll try to look at it in an objective way at some points, but I will try to explain as well as I can. But of course, this will be subjective because this is my opinion. But again, I'll try to look at the kits as they are, and if there is some history behind it or something, I'll of course mention it. Maybe it'll work in their favor, maybe not. We'll see. So I guess I'll just start here. Of course, I've made this myself by getting the pictures from PremierLeague.com, so I don't have to refer to anyone who has made this template. I did this myself. So I'm using the same 5 categories as I did with the Manchester United kits, because I don't always feel like there's an ugly kit. Maybe I will add an extra row if there's something that bad, but we'll see as we move along the way. So first, apparently these pictures did go by season by season, as I hoped they would when I put this here. So we'll start with Arsenal from 20 to 21. This, to me, of course, this was the time where they got Ødegaard on loan. This was his first kit where he wore the 11 number. Me being a Norwegian, of course, I remember that, but I wasn't too fond of the lines on the chest here or on the front. They had lines, the Adidas lines that went almost like halfway on the sides, which was kind of weird. It's not too good, but it's not really that bad either. But I do like that this kit had the traditional Arsenal, the white sleeves at least. They have done something different many times, and sometimes it kind of works. But to me, Arsenal is like the quintessential Arsenal is a red kit with white sleeves, so it goes there. Like Aston Villa, okay, so to me, they should have the blue sleeves not all the way onto the shoulder, but Arsenal have done the same thing. But there's really not that much going on with this Aston Villa shirt, I think. I think it's only okay. Burnley, I think, might even be worse. The blue doesn't even reach up to the shoulders, which I think just looks weird. It's kind of a meh kit. I couldn't say much more. Brightness, I gotta say that Brighton has had quite a bit of great looking kits, for sure. And this one was probably one of the best of this season. It's definitely the at least in the great category and at least the best among the four we've seen so far. I kind of do like them having these broader white stripes rather than the pinstripes, but there was something that just worked with this one, uh, with the white cuffs and even the white collar. Not really a big fan of the colors being like this, but I think it looks really good. It's definitely one of the better this season. I thought that this season was pretty poor in many ways, as we'll see. We have Chelsea. It was just okay, just a darker shade of blue on both the cuffs and the collar. Not much more to say about it. It was kind of boring. Crystal Palace, they actually did the same pattern for all three kits. They had the same kind of stripes, just different colors. It was kind of a cool thing. I gotta give credit to Crystal Palace. They have done so much different with the kits from year to year. I mean, usually I think of them as a club with or a team with blue and red stripes, but they don't always do that. And I think they often have really cool kits, but I don't think this is that great. I think it's only good. Everton, I do like them having blue and white, as this kit does. It will get worse, as we'll see later. But I think it's not great, but I think it's a good kit. Maybe the same with Fulham. I like the white and black they have. It's not the best, um, but I'm not always too fond of. At least, maybe I think the Aston Villa works a little bit better because they have this ongoing stripe along the shoulders in kind of the same width. I'm not sure how to say it, but Fulham, yeah, they have a little bit more black, but I'm not too fond of it. Leicester had a good kit, I think. This was when I think Vardy was he the top scorer this season. I just seem to recall him holding the golden boot in this kit, but that might also have been the previous season if at least Leicester did play their last home game or the last game of the season now with their newest kit, so maybe they just did the same thing there. But I think it's good. One of my favorite manufacturers of kits is Adidas, and I do like how they use the stripes in different ways. I kind of wish they didn't have the gold on the cuffs, but the white sure works. Liverpool, of course, me being a Man United fan, I should hate the Liverpool kits, but of course they're red as well. Of course, there's some similarities that I could appreciate, and I think this was a really good looking kit. Not sure about the green. If well, it wasn't bad. They've had green, that color of green, many times before for away kits and such. But I think maybe the best thing was just how they had the red stripe on the side, no, the white stripe on the side, which even was marked on the shorts, and I think it looked pretty cool actually. So I'm putting it there. Great. Leeds United, promoted this season, had a great game against Liverpool at Anfield in front of an empty Anfield, unfortunately, which was too bad. Um, I'll get to it because the next season they have the yellow. I think Leeds should have. Well, of course, there's blue on the logo as well, but I think it fits better with white and yellow for their kits. But I think it's good. Manchester City, not sure of what I think of the whole broken glass thing. I think they've missed a lot on their kits in later seasons. The last really good one they had, I think, was in 1819. Was it? No, wait. 1718, I think, which was pretty a clean blue shirt, but it was also the same. I think there were a lot of great kits that season. I'll get to it when I do that ranking, because well, Yeah, I just like the whole the clean, plain look of it. Often I do like that, which is why I'm gonna rank the next one, which is Manchester United. I can't remember which place I placed it in the Man United kits, unfortunately, but it's not better than good. Um, I did mention there as well, so I'm gonna mention now that the um, the markings they had, like the kind of DNA thing or what was going on, it looked so weird, and the red color also, at least on TV, looked so bleak, I guess, pale almost. It wasn't really that full red that I much rather see. But my brother's girlfriend had this kit, and it looked so much better in person. So think it's a good kit. I'll place it there. Newcastle, I think, well, the black and white stripes, as it should be. I'm not complaining about that. They do vary sometimes, and well, they do quite a bit at times. But I think this is maybe one of the better looking ones in later seasons, but maybe not the best one they have here. I think it's good. Southampton is also a club, of course, that I associate with red and white stripes, but kind of like Crystal Palace, they do change their kit a lot, which I can appreciate, of course. I mean, when I first got promoted last time, they had almost all red on the shirts with some white, but they were the classic stripes. This one I thought was kind of cool, but maybe not great. I do like the stripes they have more sometimes. Um, I appreciate that more. Yeah, I think so. Like Sheffield United has some of what I could expect from Southampton, but yeah, I think it's a good one too. Kind of like the white shoulders, but I'm not really. I've seen Sheffield United in Premier League before, but they haven't been there that much for me to think exactly how a Sheffield United shirt should look like. But anyway, I feel like this is good enough. So Tottenham, people complain a lot that they never do anything special with their kits, which I think is unfair, to be honest. I mean, the two last kits now, and maybe yeah, the one they came out with right now, aren't too different, but this one and in the seasons previous to this were pretty different. I do like when they have some blue on their kits, but this one wasn't too great. I think it was an okay kit. So West Bromwich is of course a club I think of with blue, very dark blue and white stripes. But this kit is like a barcode, and that's not me making it up. That was the word going around that time, because it really looks like you could just put it uh, on the counter in a shop. You'd hear it beep. We wouldn't even need a barcode on us, like this little damn, what do you call it? This little patch or something attached to the kit. You could just throw the kit on the beeper itself, and it'll register it and give you the price. So West Ham is kind of like what I expect from them. It's a good kit. This was when Lingard was loaned out, I think. I seem to recall him wearing this shirt. Yeah, he was. It had a lot of the blue on the logo and the Umbro logo as well. It wasn't too bad, but I think maybe, even though I want the blue sleeves, like I talked about with Arsenal, Burnley, and Aston Villa, it's kind of doing that right. But I think maybe even the next kit is a little bit better. But we'll get to that. And Wolverhampton, their last kit with Adidas. Yeah, this wasn't too bad, I think. I'm not a fan of the Wolverhampton colors, to be honest, and yeah, I think it's okay. I did like how it has a little black on it. Makes it stand out a little bit more. So now we're on to the next season, 21-22, and this is Arsenal. With when I first saw the kit leaked, I thought it was gonna be a little bit more like Ajax, with a little more white on the sides, but it wasn't that much. And it has the blue Adidas stripes on top, which didn't really wasn't too popular, I guess. But I don't think it's too bad, but I don't find it great either. I think they had a better one the next season, to be honest. Aston Villa, nothing too different from the previous one. They have like different shades of the claret here, which yeah, I didn't like more than their previous one. I think maybe this goes well, not higher than okay at least. So I see now that I have both Brentfords here, and they're actually the same shirt. They were just using the same one 2 years in a row, which was more of a custom in the 2000s, like the early 2000s. But anyway, Brentford, first time in the Premier League, hadn't really seen much of them before. Red and white stripes, just like Sheffield United, Sunderland, Southampton, Stoke. We've seen it before, nothing too special. For Brentford, it was an okay kit, I think. Yeah. Brighton, definitely a good one. I don't think this was that much of a step down from the previous one. I think it's it has more of the white stripes that I was kind of talking about with the previous one, but a perfectly fine kit, no doubt. Burnley again didn't really. I'm not sure what I think about this. Like the blue was too short here, and here I find them too long. So, and it was just so weird with the pattern here. Yeah, I think it's just another meh kit. I think often the West Ham nowadays maybe have better kits than the other two similar, like geez, what do you call it? Well, the two other teams wearing the same colors. Chelsea, this could have been a beautiful kit, I think, but it's at least great. I'm not a fan of the patterns with the blue colors. It looks so weird to me, and just so random with it's like a chessboard, chessboard on the left side, and something totally different on the most of the right side there. But had it been like one shade of blue all the way, had the yellow Nike mark, Nike logo here, it would have been great because there was just something about the yellow stripe on the sides which I found to be a really cool combination. So this was a really nice kit, I think. Definitely a huge step above the previous one. So yeah, I thought it was great. Not many beautiful kits so far, but I think maybe this one goes in there. Crystal Palace this season. I thought it was really cool to see those stripes. It was definitely one of the best kits that season, I think. Again, they changed the kits a lot, and sometimes it's really cool, sometimes it's okay, sometimes they're beautiful. And I think this was a really cool kit. Maybe it has a little bit more red than I think of when it comes to Crystal Palace, but now this was. I think it's a beautiful kit. It's a great one. So Everton, I was talking about. I like the yellow, no, the white and blue. There's a little bit of yellow and a lot of different things. This I really didn't care for, unfortunately. Everton has had a great deal of pretty good-looking kits, but this one just fell flat for me. I think this Leicester kit was a little worse. There was just something about different shades on the front that I didn't like too much. Yeah, I think the previous seasons was better. This Liverpool kit, I was talking highly of this one, but the next, that was not a good one. The stripes wasn't too bad, the diagonal stripes on the kit, but the cuffs and the collar, which had this shade that almost looked orange and a little bit of green up there, just didn't work at all, in my opinion. One of my brothers is a Liverpool fan, and he didn't really speak too highly about this one either. It was more it annoyed him how beautiful some certain other red kit was that season, which I'll get to. So here's the Leeds kit with yellow stripes. It's kind of almost exactly the same as the previous one, but with yellow instead, and I think that works a lot better. So to me, this was a great Leeds kit, I think. I would maybe think of this as I think I'll put it, yeah, in great. It's not like I think this would be a great kit for any club that has yellow, no white as their main color. But for Leeds United, I remember them having yellow sometimes on the kits back when they were promoted, and well, they weren't promoted, but when they were in the Premier League last time in the early, a little bit before their demotion or relegation in the early 2000s. So I think this worked a lot better. This might be the better City kit from yeah, the 2020s so far. But I think it's only a good one. It looked kind of great. When I first saw this leaked, it looked like maybe it was a little bit more shiny color like they had in the early 2000s when, well, Alf Inge Haaland played there. But unfortunately it wasn't. But I did like or appreciate the white on the side here underneath the arm. But what annoys me about this is, of course, how they were having this throwback to Aguero's Premier League winning goal against QPR that season in 11-12. I hate that day. I hate that match. I can't watch it. Not gonna complain too much, but I just was so annoyed at QPR as well. How they just gave the ball away at. Well, they didn't even try to do anything more with the game, which just annoyed the hell out of me. And well, it was a dark time for sure. Yeah, I'm whining a little bit, but so they had like this digital numbers of the minute and second he scored that goal. I think they had it on the back or inside the neck on the back here, but it also has like this really, at least here, a really subtle digital numbers printed on the whole jersey or the whole kit, I think. Which to me just detracts. Didn't like it because of that. That's a little bias, of course, but I do think it looks better than the previous one. But I will say that the kit they have this season, which isn't on here, I think it's maybe a great one actually. So here's the first beautiful Man United kit, and I think this really was a beautiful kit. A simple white and red, or red and white, with red being the dominant, I think works in many ways. They could have gone with a little black maybe, which I've talked about with the 17-18 season, which if I remember correctly, the one I was talking about with Man City as well. It had a little black on the cuffs, but definitely a beautiful kit. I think red and white works for Man United especially more than red and black, even though this season's kit is also really great, I think. But yeah, I think it's beautiful, no doubt. I even got this for my 30th birthday as well, so it's a special one for me. So Norwich is actually, they also, like, all I think of when I think about Norwich is yellow and green, which is their colors, of course. But they have also done many different things, but I've never thought of them as having this one standard pattern like Crystal Palace or Southampton, which I thought about with stripes. But they've changed so much over the years, and I think they have some that are really cool, some that are decent, and some that aren't too great. And this one, unfortunately, falls a bit short. They've had much better kits than this one. It's only okay, I think. they've done a lot better. I think Newcastle is going to join them here. I do appreciate more seeing them with more stripes and thinner stripes than the broader one. And this one was the first with Castor as well, and I think they haven't been too good. There is one better coming later here, maybe, which I think is actually their best one from these 3 seasons. But yeah, I'm not too fond of this one especially, unfortunately. So this one isn't that much better than the previous Southampton kit here, but I think I do like the red and white stripes better. So then we have Tottenham. This is the bland white. You know, sometimes it's nice to have just a plain white kit, and Tottenham especially should have that, I think. Anyway, there are a few clubs that shouldn't, or at least can have like this just one color and one shade of that color on their kits. And I feel like Liverpool and Tottenham are 2 of those clubs, for example. I think it's good. You can have that one season without there being too much hassle. But of course, they've got a lot of complaints with not changing too much the next couple of seasons. But either way, sometimes it's nice to have this one plain white kit. Sorry. So now I'm just trying to zoom out so we can get the rest of the kits in picture here in the frame. So we have Watford, and I wasn't. They're kind of like Norwich. They do something special often. Unfortunately, this one isn't really that great. When I first saw it, I thought it was ridiculous, but it kind of grew on me, and it does match the Hornets nickname very well with these stripes. So I actually think it's good. It definitely stands out. There's no kit like this, and I haven't been a kit like this with the yellow and black stripes. But I will say that the vertical stripes they had this one season a couple of years back, I thought was really cool. So that one's going to be ranked pretty high on the 2010s tier list. So yeah, I was talking about West Ham with them having the sleeves in blue and not all the way up to the shoulders, but I still think this kit was a little bit better than. It's not great maybe, but I think it's well, this doesn't matter really. Just what order on each row doesn't matter here. So never mind that I just moved around this a bit, but I think it's at least as good looking as this one. It's not too special, even though it has more the traditional look, but I think it's decent. Wolverhampton, yeah, I think maybe this one is better looking. Maybe. It wasn't too bad, this one either, but it's nothing special to me, to be honest. So this is the greater Arsenal kit, I think. It had kind of the same color as the Man United one, but I think the Arsenal kit was a better looking one. So, well, spoiler alert: my Man United, well, the next Man United kit is not going to appear on Great. I think the Arsenal one is better. Bournemouth, of course, the cherries. We do think of the red and black stripes with these, but this one was going out of its way to do a little bit more special. I think I wasn't too fan of it right away. It has like this mirrored and weaker black stripes in zigzags on it as well, I think. But it's not too visible as I thought it would be. And I do like the Bournemouth kits that has red sleeves more than the black ones. So I think this was actually a great kit. Yeah, Brentford goes here, nothing different. We're in the last season, by the way, if I wasn't clear about that. This is pretty plain, but I think this is a good Aston Villa kit. This is how they should look like, in my opinion. Oh, you can see it. I have to zoom out a little bit more. And there we go. Now we have all the kits in frame. That's good. So, yeah, Aston Villa goes there, I think. That's how it should be. That's like the standard of how Aston Villa kits should be, I think. Brighton let me down, previous season. It kind of works this pattern in. I thought it was meh. I don't mind the yellow, white, and blue. They've done those colors before, and it can work, of course. You see it here, and you see it here as well. It works on this year's away kit, I think, with the black and green colors, but as a home kit, I didn't really like this too much, so it goes here. Chelsea wasn't too bad, but the color was really weird. They had a really cool promotion of their with the kit reveal. It kind of makes me sad now because it was really cool, those videos, and it's just sad how Thomas Tuchel was fired not that long after. And he was in those videos and pictures as well, so it's kind of sad to look back on right now. This was a unique kit by Crystal Palace again, but well, apparently it was kind of done before, but I think it's only good. Maybe I like this one a lot better. I thought it was really a lot cooler, but it's a good kit, no doubt. But they weren't the first to do the what's it called? Like the marker brushes on it. I can't remember which club it was, but I saw some YouTuber talking about it at some point. I actually think last year Everton has one of the better kits, and I think this one was great. I'm not too huge on Hummel, even though I'm really into the Adidas stripes. Like the Hummel kits also had this signature look with these shapes on the shoulders or whatever, wherever they should be. But I think it works with the Everton kit here, and I do like the little white they have underneath. I think it's a nice blue and white kit. Fulham also had a really good one. Wasn't too bad, but maybe was it great? Maybe it was a little bit great actually. I thought it was a really good looking kit for that season. Leicester wasn't too bad. I kind of wished for more, to be honest. This kind of hurts. Liverpool, plain red, definitely a step up from the previous season. I think this was one of the better ones this season as well. The city of Liverpool was actually coming strong out of the previous season, with both Everton and Liverpool being in the great section, I think. And then we have Leeds. I think this one was even better actually, so I'll just put it here next to the just to sometimes I can't decide, but this I think was better with both the blue and yellow. I think maybe it should have more yellow than blue, but I still think it worked with both, at least more than the one with blue here. City kit, Haaland's first, or Erling Braut of course. This I didn't like. I couldn't stand the maroon or the red color on the collar and the cuffs, and with both the Puma and City logo on the middle. I generally don't like that. Maybe it works sometimes, but I'm not fond of it. The club emblem should have been on the left, over the heart, to be honest. This was a kit that I thought looked really cool in the beginning, but then it kind of fell short after a while. The color, I think it's so weird. The pinstripe is kind of cool, and the logo wasn't too bad. But this was one of the. This is actually the first time I've bought the away kit rather than the home kit. But I almost did that with this one as well. But I think it's only okay and nothing better than that. Nottingham Forest, I think it's red, nothing special. I think it's okay. This is mostly because of my expectations or my hopes, because the last time they were in the Premier League from my very young days, I remember their kits having some black on it, and it doesn't seem it's the standard for Nottingham Forest, at least not in the later decades, but I was kind of hoping that since this was the first time they were back in the Premier League after so long, they would have something black just to remember those days. But that was mostly with my expectation or my hopes, and that's the reason why it's only an okay, I think. The Newcastle kit here, I think it's Castor's best so far. Maybe better than the one that came out with this year. I can't recall. But I think the stripes, the number of stripes is actually quite correct. Not too many, not too few. I do enjoy the little white on the shoulders here as well. Wasn't too bad. So here's another example of Southampton doing something unique or very different. Like when we look at these three kits, they're totally different from each other. Of course, they're the same colors, two different manufacturers is worth mentioning, but they're clearly different from each other. But I think they should have had more red on the kits than they did. To me, the red is the dominant color and not white. So, well, for being different, it's still good, but I think these two both are better. Tottenham. So the difference isn't too much from the previous season, but I think it's maybe a little bit better. But yeah, I'll put it in good. West Ham wasn't too fond of. Maybe it's okay or meh, maybe. They had better kits. Both of them were better in the previous seasons. Then we have Wolverhampton left, only one left, and I think maybe this is, well, okay. Yeah, I think this is it. There haven't been many beautiful kits in this decade so far, to me anyway. But this is how I would rank them. Liverpool have unfortunately had better kits than Man United, I think, even though they have even this one among them. But yeah, I think this is how I would rank the 2021 and the 22-23 up till 22-23 season kits, home kits in the Premier League era. Well, of course, Premier League era in the Premier League. So yeah, I'll get back to the home away and third kits as soon as they're ready on the Premier League's home site, and I'll put those up sometime in the future. So yeah, this, just remember that I'm neither right or wrong. It's just my opinion, and I'm just some guy who ranks stuff. So just to plug that in there. So thank you so much for watching, and let me know what you think about this video, and of course give me some feedback. I appreciate constructive criticism no matter what they are. So it's only to help out, so I would gladly accept it. So thank you very much, and see you next time.